What's good, y'all? Today we're gonna be looking over more kids' books and see what object class they would be if they were SCPs. But first, before we get into the video, I want to thank y'all so much for 3,000 subscribers. Looking like it's going on to over 4,000, so don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. Alright, well, let's review the object classes for new viewers or people who are not familiar with the SCP universe. SCPs are classified in three main object classes, explaining how easy or hard they are to contain and manage. There are also others that we'll be explaining in this video because we may use them later. Safe class SCPs are extremely easy to contain. You can set these guys in a box and they'll just stay there. Euclid class entities pose some challenges but are by no means impossible to contain if certain procedures are followed correctly. Keter class SCPs are extremely difficult, impractical, expensive, or just impossible to contain. These are usually your world enders, some cognitohazards, and objects that are not of the physical world, or they can break out of any box you set them in. There are also two other object classes. Thaumiel class entities are literally the box that are used to contain other anomalies. And Apollyon class entities are basically Keter class entities on super steroids. They're expected to break out of containment and there really isn't anything we can do about it. Alright, let's get on with the video. SCP-XX4 is a plastic red ring with a white swirl design officially found in boxes of frosted sugar doodle cereal from the defunct Little Wise Guy Novelty Company. Subjects who wear the ring can point it in the direction of another individual and command them to take on the identity of any one person, real or fictional. After issuing a hypnotic command, the affected subject will thoroughly believe that they are that person, often mimicking the abilities of that individual, usually resulting in failure. An affected subject deemed SCP-XX4-1 was captured outside of Impeaqua, Ohio. Students and staff were administered Class C amnestics. SCP-XX4-1, unlike most subjects of the ring, does have the superhuman powers of the titular character from the hand-drawn comic made by two children. SCP-XX4-1 claims that these powers came from extra-strength superpower juice, a possible uncontained anomaly. Alright, so I did think about putting the Hypno Ring in Explained, which is a category used to explain phenomenon that the Foundation once thought was anomalous but was later explained by science. But the Hypno Ring takes it to a whole nother level. In real life, hypnosis just puts you in a very suggestible state, but you still have full control over your mind and body. This Hypno Ring is able to control the degree in which you're willing to take the bit, basically. So it's safe to say that this is a full-blown anomaly. Especially since hypnosis is one of those things that takes years upon years of practice to actually do, while they just take it out of the box and they're able to instantly do it. However, since it is only a red ring, object class, safe. However, Captain Underpants himself would be object class Euclid. Many commenters have pointed out that humanoid SCPs are often categorized Euclid by default due to their unpredictable nature. Next, we have an entity whose sole purpose is to take care of those around it, for better or for worse. SCP-XX5 takes the form of a Malus domestica, which is used to mimic a completely normal tree. Its anomalous nature comes from the fact that the tree is able to speak psychologically to any subjects within a given radius. SCP-XX5 can also manipulate its branches and trunk as if they were arms and a torso, respectively. The entity shows little to no pain when losing its branches, trunk, apples, leaves, or other aspects of its body. Okay, so I think we all know where the Giving Tree would be in terms of object class. Object class, safe. For one, it has no ill will towards anybody, and yes, I know it's a metaphor for motherhood, since it only talks to one character in the entire story, the little boy. The Giving Tree is a very kind, gentle, and docile entity, and considering that it only needs to stay in one spot, like a green room, would make it a very easy entity to contain. But you know what's even more dangerous? That fucking picture of Shel Silverstein on the back. That thing has to be a fucking cognito hazard. Oh dear God, we got a containment breach! Jesus Christ, Gary, you were supposed to be watching 173 during your shift, not fucking sleep. You're gonna get demoted to D class for this. I'm sorry, I just crashed so hard. I've been up so long and all those sugary energy drinks got to me. Oh my God, Gary, you've been drinking brand X energy drink when you could be drinking the sponsor for today's video, Dubby. Dubby offers a smooth, no-crash energy drink with no jitters compared to traditional energy drinks, with several delicious flavors. Using ingredients that focus on sustained energy to get you powered through your day of work, gaming, or watching dangerous anomalies. Get that added sugar and artificial food dyes out of here because Dubby is all natural, baby. Use code PAPAB to get 10% off your order today. Thanks again to Dubby for sponsoring this video. Now back to the show. Alright, we still gotta recontain 173.
One recontainment later.
SCP-XX6 is a green Halloween mask with the appearance of a goblin-like monster made from a material with similar composition as human flesh. When a subject wears SCP-XX6, the mask binds to the face and begins its transformation process. This process involves the gradual replacement of one's personality, making them far more aggressive, greedy, and more willing to act with malice. Eventually, the subject will transform into a grotesque monster until the mask is removed through sentimental triggers. When not attached to a host body, SCP-XX6 can fly, slamming into objects with a maximum force of 750 newtons. It may also use psychic powers to issue commands to surrounding objects, as well as psychonic screams. SCP-XX6 was recovered from United States following reports of extreme violence and cruel pranks from children during Halloween. It is now kept in a metal container in Site-11. Staff are required to mentally block out and ignore all psychic commands issued by SCP-XX6 when within its area of effect of 3 meters. Okay, I know I said I wasn't going to cover Goosebumps books in the last video, but a lot of commenters requested it. The haunted mask can move on its own accord when not attached to a host body, and use psychic powers to terrorize anybody nearby. I mean, that's what I just read, but this offers quite a few challenges to the Foundation personnel. However, its powers are quite limited while hostless. There would need to be a few procedures to make sure that it doesn't break out of containment by manipulation or terrorization, but not impossible. Object Class, Euclid. Now for something a little less terrifying, but still kinda challenging for the Foundation. SCP-XX7 is an adolescent boy whose body has been flattened to 0.10 millimeters. The anomalous nature comes both from the fact that the event causing this abnormality did not immediately kill him with the force needed to flatten a body to that degree. That and the bulletin board that flattened SCP-XX7 would not have enough weight to do so. SCP-XX7 also exhibits extreme flexibility, being able to slip through thin cracks no smaller than 0.10 millimeters, and can fold himself to fit into a standard number 10 business envelope. SCP-XX7 is contained at Site-55. Flat Stanley definitely offers some challenges to Foundation personnel. Constant maintenance would be needed to make sure that there are no cracks in his containment chamber, and there would be a strict no-envelope policy to make sure he doesn't, slip out. That being said, Stanley doesn't really have any supernatural powers like super strength, just extreme dexterity. Object Class, Euclid. Now we've seen kind trees, a flat kid, and a ring that can convince anyone to be someone they're not, but this next one is a potential world-ending threat. SCP-XX-8 currently has no means of containment, as it is a malevolent spirit. SCP-XX-8 was first discovered after the containment of an instance of SCP-XX-9 after following recent reports of strange locust behavior in... SCP-XX-9 is a quadruped mix between an ape and a rat with long protruding ears. Instances of SCP-XX-9 don't seem to have direct ties with SCP-XX-8, but seem to inadvertently do his bidding through manipulation and ties to an entity that they call the Hooded One. Further investigation is needed. SCP-XX-8 can manipulate itself physically into a swarm of locusts and cause realistic illusions to frighten subjects, as well as manipulating dreams and nightmares. The entity can also create ghost circles that can erase any organic matter that comes into contact. Prolonged exposure to SCP-XX-8 can cause a slow burn madness to creep upon subjects, landing them to eventual insanity. That's right. Peak mentioned. The only bad thing about Bone was that it was always checked out at my intermediate school's library. And for good reason. This series needs a movie or a TV show now! Alright, in terms of ranking, I might need to spoil the book series, so here's your warning. Alright, skip to this timestamp if you don't want to get spoiled. Technically, this entity's object class would be neutralized. He gets destroyed at the end of the series. However, that's not fun, so let's pretend like he was still alive, and he would get a classification, object class, Apollyon. I mean, he's not really a bunch of locusts or anything. He's a malevolent spirit. The only way to put an end to his reign of terror is to destroy him. Efforts have been made to contain him by the dragons in the story, but those eventually weakened and failed. And considering that Apollyon-class entities are eventually expected to break out, that just seems like a perfect fit. So given how dangerous the Lord of Locusts is, and how he is inevitable, if you want to prevent having nightmares caused by his very presence tonight, hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hype the video if you can fit in a number 10 business envelope. And I'll see you in the next video.